Hey everyone, welcome to a vintage video today. So in vintage, you can do a lot of things. The best deck right now is Jeskai aggro control deck, basically with Dreadhorde Arcanist, Monastery Mentor, stuff like that. You can play Mishra's Workshop and make sure nobody casts spells, or you can feel something. This deck that I have in front of me right now is built for speed. People talk about vintage, like people who don't know about vintage whisper about it like it's this turn one format, you're just going to get duressed and then die before you even get to play a card, which is mostly not true. But if it were true, this is the deck that they're talking about, that they're whispering about in the shadows. And this deck is nice. So the appeal of this deck is that a lot of vintage decks have a bunch of air in them, like things like Moxen, which are insane on turn one. You get to power out plays earlier than you should. But like a mid-game draw, it's a lot of the times is just a brick. Or like if you keep an opening hand that's like a cantrip, 2 lands, a mox, force, blue card, like if you force of will something, your hand does very little. It's kind of like having a 5-lander or like a 4-lander with a single ponder in Legacy, which is a bad hand. So vintage, although it is powerful, that deck building, there's deck building cost to that. And this deck wants to punish that hard. So usually one piece of disruption is enough to get through a vintage player's walls. It's just not free to pitch a blue card to force a will in a format where every card is insane. Like, if you're like pitching like Time Walk to force of will, now you don't have Time Walk anymore. Like, geez, that's a big cost. So pushing through a single piece of disruption with duress or defense grid, powering out one of these on turn one, and then either winning on turn two or winning the very same turn is totally reasonable. The engines in this deck, there's Necropotence and Bolas's Citadel are the big ones that draw you a bunch of extra cards. We're trying to end up casting this Tendrils of Agony for at least 10 copies. That's the plan. So Tinker for Citadel or Necropotence are 3-mana ways to essentially draw 1 million cards. Time Twister is another powerful one. Twister is a little awkward because like refilling a blue deck's hand is not usually what you want to do, especially after you duress them. But if you can turn one a Time Twister, you basically force your opponent to keep a random 7. Like it's like as if mulliganing was not in the cards for them this game. And a lot of games just end. Like you twister them into a 0-lander and they can't cast any spells, or you twister them into a 5-lander that doesn't do anything. So powerful stuff here. Most of the deterministic lines to Tendrils, though, involve Yawgmoth's Will. This card is one of the dumbest cards ever printed. Until end of turn, you may play cards from your graveyard. If a card be put in your graveyard from anywhere this turn, exile it instead. So, like, Dark Ritual, cast Dark Petition, and you have Spell Mastery, so that's 3 black. That 3 black casts Yawgwill, and then you can writ, Dark Petition again. With even one other mana source, that's pretty close to a kill. Like, it doesn't take much once you resolve a Dark Petition with Yawgwill in your deck. And then there's the classic, like, Black Lotus, cast Yawgwill, recast Black Lotus. Like, there's a lot of crazy little lines that only the vintage card pool can provide here. So I'm not going to get too crazy into what this deck, like every interaction in this deck. Let's just play matches and let them come up. But the really important thing that I like about this deck is that the blue cards are not the cards that win the game for you. And we're currently in a state of vintage where Narset is such a huge problem that every blue deck is main decking 3 or 4 Pyroblasts. And this deck can ignore Narset. Like, you can win with rituals and tutors without ever drawing a card, like actually drawing a card. You just put them in your hand from various zones. Bolas's Citadel doesn't draw cards. Necro doesn't draw cards. Like, this hand, most of the engines work without drawing cards, and you're largely immune to Red Blast as well. So they can have Narset and a handful of Red Blast, and you could still just kill them. So I really like the positioning of this deck against the best deck in the format, which is the Jeskai Dreadhorde Arcanist deck. So let's go run this. All right, so we won the die roll. This hand is not particularly explosive. This looks like a hand in Legacy Storm, actually. I mean, aside from this Time Twister. But, like, this is just like one land, some cantrips, a ritual. I think we can do better. Like, this hand is keepable, but just, like, not great. Like, the best thing we can do with this hand is ponder into Black Lotus and cast Time Twister. And I'm not super excited about that. The alternate argument is just keep any playable 7. Oh, this Bloodstained Mire doesn't fetch basic island, though. I would hate to just die to a Wasteland. I played against this opponent the other day, and they were on Death Shadow, which is a Wasteland Thoughtseize deck. So keeping a 1-lander kind of scares me, but mulliganing against the deck with targeted discard in it is also kind of worrisome. I'm actually going to keep this. Let's try it. It's not the blazing start I want, especially like game 1 on the play where I might be able to catch them. But it's functional. Oh, they're on 5 over there. I wonder if they've switched to Dredge or if they're just genuinely mulliganing to 5. So I'm going to ponder first because we're looking for more mana sources. And then I can save Brainstorm for next turn to try to drastically change my hand. Cabal Ritual. I don't want any of this. Alright, well, if our Underground Sea survives, we might be able to make some cool plays. Alright, that's not a Wasteland. I'll take it. Cool. Alright, so now we can Brainstorm and really try to make it happen. I could also just Ritual, try to resolve Time Twister. I think that's worse than just casting Brainstorm, though. Like, against these fair blue decks, I'd rather... Ooh. I would rather Sculpt for a little while. Alright, let's try to win this game right now. Okay. Don't need this island. And I'm not going to cast free... Oh, wait. I don't have more blue, but I can Ritual up 3, 4... No, I think I'm... No, the Soul Ring makes 5. Okay, so if I put back these 2, I can Petition... 3, 4, 5, yeah. Alright, let's just hope they don't have Force of Will. Sucks I'm 1 short of Threshold, too. Alright, so do I have a deterministic kill here? I probably do. If I get Black Lotus, or no, I have to get... If I get Yogwill, no, I can't do that because I have no mana floating. I could Black Lotus, Time Twister. Storm is 7. I could get Necro and just draw 10 and pass. I don't have blue, so I can't Tinker for Citadel right now. Yeah, that Spell Pierce actually did function in stopping us from winning the game right now. So I think I'm going to get Black Lotus, and I'm going to spin the Twister Wheel, and then we'll have a bunch of mana floating when we get our fresh 7. Because I'm getting 3 black here. Alright. I'm going to spend the extra black not the extra blue. I was going to say because I have more black rituals, but immediately punished. Start with Preordain. Oh, we refound Black Lotus. That's pretty dumb. Alright, so if I top, cast Defense Grid, then cast Lotus, and Necro, do I win on the following turn? I don't have Spell Mastery yet for Dark Petition, so I definitely want this Lotus. So I think I want this Dark Petition. I want access to it. Yeah, because I can cast Mystical Tutor to get Spell Mastery. Yeah, I'm just going to top both of these. I'm going to cast Defense Grid. If they have a counter spell, they kind of have to use it here. Yeah, that drew out the Force. It's cool with me. Force Pitching Dig, deal. Lotus. Then I can Lotus out the Necro, and this is pretty safe because even if they counter Necro, I can still just Yogg-Will next turn. Alright. The first one is the Dark Petition. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that would take me up to 9 cards. I can discard Swamp for free. Like, Tolarian Academy is the land I want to play. 2, 3, 4, 5. It is awkward that they have targeted discard in their deck, though, because if they hit my Yogg-Will, or my Tendrils, my god, I just lose. Alright, I'll draw 6. There's the Citadel, some fast mana. Alright, I don't have any mana floating. There's nothing I can do in the end step before moving to clean up here. Alright, so Swamp's gone. Gotta discard 2 more. So, if they Thoughtseize me, they're probably going to take Yogg-Will. So I want to have as many payoffs as possible. So I can't cast this Citadel. Also, if they had another counterspell, they would have targeted Necro with it. And I have no rituals, so I think I have to get rid of this Duress. And maybe Citadel is just gonna have to go. Because I want all my mana available. Alright, so let's map this out. Academy, fast mana. Petition and Will have to stay in the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get 2 more of these last 4. I think Duress has to go, because I just don't have 3 black to like Duress them and then Dark Petition anyway. And not having 3 black means I can't Citadel. But if I get to my turn with Yogg-Will, then I do have Black Lotus Swamp. Or Black Lotus. So I should keep 1 of these. But if Duress resolves, if Yogg-Will's still in my hand, I can Duress them, then make sure Yogg-Will resolves. And then Petition from there. Okay, so I think Preordain and Citadel are the discards. Because I can Mystical and then Preordain from my graveyard to find the lethal card if I need to. Alright. That's my plan. Let's hope it works out. Yeah, like double Thoughtseize here would be just about the worst thing that could happen. Ooh, a white land. That's silly. Who does that? All right, so we're just going to kick it off with a duress here. Show me your secrets. I'd be surprised if they have... Okay. I was going to say I'd be surprised if they have like a hard counter here, but misstep is, for all intents and purposes, pretty soft. Here goes everything. A soft counter is not enough. If they have force blue card, that just sucks a lot, but we can just mystical tutor, then reload with Necro with our favorite card in our hand. Alright, that just resolved, so that's cool. I gotta manage my spells in graveyard because I have to make sure I still have spell mastery when I go for whatever I go for here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana available. So if I cast the defense grid, it essentially costs 1 because Academy counts it once it's in play. So then I'll have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. That should be enough to work with. Yeah, Storm's already 6. They're at 17. Yeah, that should do it. Past in Flames can't do that, folks. Spell Pierce. Okay. So I think that they're just building Storm with that. But let me do the math, see if we can win without it. Or win if we pay. So I can tap for 4. So I have 4 blue and a colorless. Then I'll have 3 blue floating if I pay for the Pierce. And then I can crack Lotus. I have 3 blue, 3 black. Cast Dark Petition. Oh yeah, we got this covered over and over. Oh, do I click up here? Okay, that's how that works. All right. So we should be good here. Now I make black. I don't need to duress because they can't cast spells. I'll get tendrils and kill them dead. Bang. 10 copies, we only needed 9. And storm them out. Okay, so that white land they showed me makes me think that they have Deafening Silence in their 75, but Basic Plains is a weird card to have. This might be like the Brian Kelly Esper pile that exists. Does he play Basic Plains in that deck? Not in the main. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. But we know they're a fair blue deck, so we want the Empties and Pyroblasts. And we want the extra lands. Defense grid's important. And Fatal Push kills any of the white creatures we would be worried about. So want to get rid of our one-shot mana that isn't Lotus. Because we want to be more robust. Mystical Tutor is card disadvantage. Vamp Tutor is also card disadvantage. Hurkyl's Recall is probably not a card we're going to need. Tinker is a 2-for-1 if it gets countered, so we're just off that. Citadel goes because Tinker goes. Twister, it's dangerous to refill a blue deck's hands. And then we can chill out on the Preordains a little bit. The one variation on this is that this deck in particular, a lot of their interaction is black. So I kind of like not going all the way in on Pyroblasts and leaving more Preordains in than I normally would. Like normally I would do like all 4 of these, but because of the way that they interact with you, I like having an extra Preordain available over an extra Pyroblast that may or may not ever get a target. And you have to move into the empty plan a lot of the times in the sideboard because they're going to be a lot better at disrupting you in game 2. And sometimes you can only get to Storm 5 or 6. And Tendrils isn't good enough in that spot. All right, this hand actually doesn't do anything. This is a straight up legacy hand here. I guess if I knew more about their deck, it might be keepable, but... Or maybe it's great. Is that possible? Like, I can answer some threats. This hand is pretty immune to discard. You know what? I'm going to keep this. I talked myself out of it. That's 2 games in a row where I've said this hand's unkeepable and kept it. But with a little more thought, like mostly I'm acknowledging that they are a discard deck, probably. And if they're not, then they might be a Lavinia deck. All right, there's Deafening Silence. We have Chain of Vapor in the deck to remove that, but it's definitely going to suck. No doubt about that. And like, so we're very good at answering Lavinia or Camball or, you know, like whatever Esper hate jerk they have. I could go for a Duress now, try to strip a Planeswalker of some kind, or I could just Time Walk and go a little deeper. I'm going to Time Walk. Let's just get some more looks. Try to get ahead. Burning our fetch land sucks a little bit, because if they play like Campbell, then we're going to need to find a different fetch land to get our Fatal Push revolting. Alright, yeah, if they want to spell Pierce Time Walk on an empty board, that's probably a good deal. That was basically Duress. Alright, this is likely Narset. Yep, there she is. Ancestral Recall. Good thing we have Duress in hand. Yeah, I'm going to smash off this Duress. Hope they don't have their misstep. Bummer. That card is banned, haven't you heard? Alright, so them having their restricted card to answer our answer for their other restricted card might let them pull ahead here. Standstill, that's what we're doing. Alright, so they can Ancestral in my end step and then untap and jam Standstill, and then we're just miles behind. Their misstep being in the graveyard is worth noting. Alright, now they have a win condition also. Like, they could Snapcaster this mental misstep. Then we're in a lot of trouble forever. I'm just casting Preordain. Like, we're going to have to get through these cards eventually. Bottom both of these. Rituals don't help me when I can only cast 1 card per turn. I don't get to draw a card because of Narset. I'm not sure why they didn't cast a spell last turn. Oh, there's the Snapcaster. Oh, they did cast the Ancestral last turn. Alright. Yeah, we're not winning this game. I'll just save us some time. Okay. So now that I know that they are Esper Standstill and not Death Shadow, I'm going to bring in the Pyroblast and cut the Preordain. And Fatal Push can kill their threats. I'm going to bring in another Chain of Vapor. That might be better than Fatal Push, because it can bounce the silence. Yeah, I think this looks good. Oh, wait. That's 61 cards. I was supposed to cut something. It's locked in. Oh, wait. It's not locked in. Okay. I was able to cut a Fatal Push before it was too late. I think. Yeah, I meant to switch one of the chains with one of the pushes. Hopefully it worked. So Deafening Silence is a good reason to crack off a turn 1 Duress if I have one. Like, normally I would want to save Duress for a turn I'm going to go off, but stripping a hate piece is also a huge deal. I think I may have had that line available that last game. I don't remember, but... Oh, no, I didn't have Duress. I had 2 Fatal Push. Never mind. But yeah, not getting greedy with Duress. Just try to strip that turn 1 hate piece is probably a smart play in this matchup. Alright, so we're on the play. We have the turn 1 Duress. And we have a bunch of fast mana and the second best cantrip. I'm going to keep this. And we have an answer to a hate piece. So I'm into this hand. I'm going to Duress first for the reasons I said. And Landstill is definitely a Wasteland Strip Mine deck, but I'm not going to fetch a basic here. Because if they want to spend their turn wasting me, then I can spend my turn comboing off, and I'm cool with that. Let's see if they have the one of Misstep again. They 3 for 3. Ooh, that got a Force of Will. Force pitching Spell Pierce. Okay, that's a deal. I'm not going to play Mana Crypt, because if this game goes long, I don't want to just bleed out to it. Uh-oh. Oh. Interesting. I thought for sure that was Narset, then we just lose, but that's not what happened. That's an interesting draw. So if I Brainstorm and they counter it, I can empty for a lot, and if they don't counter it, I can still empty for even more. Let's go for this Brainstorm. Oh, they drew Misstep right now. Okay. So, like, Snapcaster could fuck this up, or Mindbreak Trap. I really hope they don't have Mindbreak Trap. I guess Flusterstorm also wrecks me. But they didn't have a land drop. Like, those spells, like Flusterstorm would cost them their Lotus. Oh, Ancestral. Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. Alright, they mana drain one of them. Okay, so they're going to get 4 mana on their turn. Oh, they forced another one pitching Dovin's Veto. That's rough. Alright, let's see what they can do with this 4 colorless mana. Take 4 mana burn. There's the Wasteland. 6 mana, one of it's blue. Oh, they just had nothing. I'll take it. Alright, now it's Mana Crypt versus Goblins. The race is on. They might have a Snapcaster. So I'm going to save my Gitaxian Probe for post-combat. I'm going to pay the life. Like, I don't want to have to figure out if I want to leave up Duress or Pyroblast. Alright, we chose wisely. Now look at this Library of Alexandria. Have you ever seen a sadder Magic card? Alright, they have 2 draw steps to figure this out, and they have to beat a Pyroblast. That's not it. They could Wasteland me, so if they have some blue card, that would help, but I don't even know what that would be. Speaking of sad libraries. I could even chain my Mana Crypt if for some reason I think I'm going to die to it, but they literally had to draw the win the game card right there. And I just keep winning flips, so we're good. Ooh, Dark Petition, huh? Oh, I don't have double black, doesn't matter. Oh, my opponent said GG. I think we're good. Unless they're trying to trick me. Okay, we did it. Good game, opponent. Yeah, that game showed the power of Empty the Warrens versus blue strategies. Alright, we're here for round 2. We're on the draw. This hand has a turn 1 Necro, and we get to take a look before we jam into anything. But if that doesn't work, it doesn't really go anywhere very quickly. But I am going to keep it. Like, you don't sign up with this deck to not keep hands like this. I can play... This hand lets me play through a Sphere effect. Ooh, a Dredge strategy. I hope it's Survival and not Dredge. If it's Dredge and they unmask me, I could just lose the game. Oh, they pitched to Serum Visions. Alright, or Serum Powder. So I should have known they were Dredge already. Alright, showing me a main deck Mind Break Trap. Good thing we have this probe to take a peek. Against Dredge, I don't even really want to give them a turn if I don't have to. Alright, so their hand is nothing. Ooh, what does that do? Okay, can we win this game right now? Because that is the preferred outcome. These artifacts are getting cast this turn regardless, so I'll go ahead and put them onto the stack. Alright, so I can Dark Ritual. I can Dark Ritual off the Jet, which leaves 3 floating, and I can tap Academy to make it 5, and then I can Petition with Conqueso, so I get the 3 black, and I have 1 mana still available out of Lotus Petal. If I get Yawgmoth's Will... Alright, hold on. It's time to be Stephen Menendian here. Alright, sorry opponent. You're just going to have to wait while I talk through this for my YouTube channel. Alright, so Storm is 3. So if I Writ, it gives us black, black, black. Storm is 4. Then Academy makes black, 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 blue, blue. Storm is still 4. Then I can Petition. I end up with black, black, black floating plus Petal. So I'll make that X, and Storm is 5. If I get Will, then I just have... I have X floating plus a second X off Lotus Petal. So Storm is 6, and I have 2 mana of any color floating. I can Ritual out of the graveyard, which would end up black, 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 X. And I can Probe again, which would give me Storm 8, but still black, 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 X floating. That's 1 short. Is that 1 short of refiring the Petition? But refiring the Petition, even if I get up to Petition, then I'm still 1 short of casting Tendrils. Alright, so what other options do I have? Let's look at this deck list real quick. I could petition for Twister, but they already have Bazaar in hand. That's usually better when they don't, or Bazaar in play. Like if you can Twister Dredge on the before they get a Bazaar down, they could just lose. I'm not sure there is a line that wins the game right now. I could petition. Ugh. This is so close, but not there. All right, I'm going to play the Academy. Time Twister might be the right way to go because it'll at least mess up one of their dredges. Like they're going to have to, they can only dredge once instead of 3 times next turn. All right, let's get this party started. And Twister, I might just be able to win the game. But Twister could fill their hand with Disruption also. So it's a bit of a gamble. I could also just cast Necro. But that's bad because then I'll be at a small amount of life. And they showed me that they have Dread Return, which means they're the type of dredge that can just kill you on one turn. A lot of dredge decks can't do that anymore. Or I could get Bolus's Citadel. Maybe that's got to be the play, right? I Dark Petition for Tinker, get Citadel, and then try to win this turn. Yeah, that doesn't refill their hand. It lets me try to go bananas. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I have black, 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 blue. Yeah, I'm going to Tinker this turn. That's got to be smarter than trying to go for the Twister. If I were on the play, I would definitely be twisting. Like, twist away their Bazaar that they haven't played yet. Oh, my opponent left the game. They must have thought that they were frozen. But no, I was just doing math. Sorry, opponent. You're a good sport over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Petition with Spell Mastery, because Gataxian Probe is a fair and balanced magic card. Remember when we could play that in Legacy? What the hell? Tinker is in my hand now. You're good for blue. Tinker away my artifact, get Bolus's Citadel, and hope I don't have a land on top. Fuck my life. All right, we're going to pass the turn. Hope we don't die. There's an Archamoeba in hand. Bridge is kind of douchey. They did not hit off their Icarid, though. Or they didn't hit a second Dredger or a second black creature. So now they have 2 black creatures. But alright, so I'm just going to F6 here. If we survive this turn, we have pretty good odds to go crazy. Okay, cool. They're going to therapy something. It doesn't actually matter because my hand doesn't have any cards in it. So they're going to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, at least 10 power available next turn. So I am going to have to figure this out. And I have 15 life to work with currently. There's only 13 lands in the deck, and 3 of them are accounted for. 6 of them are fetch lands, which give us 2 looks off Citadel. So hopefully we just string some spells together and don't have to worry about it. They named Dark Ritual. If I had that, I would have cast it. Alright, cast you. Cast you. I'll put the serum powder in the graveyard, I guess. Oh no, another one. And I have to get through these, so I'm going to give them their Dread Return. They could get rid of it if they wanted anyway. Alright, there's one of our fetch lands. Alright, now we win. Alright, because Vamp Tutor puts whatever we want on top. Okay, so I'm going to cast Vamp Tutor, holding priority, in case I hit an instant underneath that I wanted to cast, but I didn't. So, Storm is 6. I can make it 7, 8 with what I have. Yeah, 6, 7, 8. Then the tendrils would be 9. So I can't get tendrils yet. If I get Petition, I go to 6, and then Petition can get Will, and then I win easily. All right, yeah. That's the ball game. I'll get Will, and black, black, black. All right, now they should concede unless they want to see me click through it all. All right, yeah, that'll do. Just overpowered Dredge. They kept a 7 on the play and we still won. That was sick. All right, so sideboarding here is pretty minimal. Chain, Grid, and Blightsteel. I'm just following Cyrus Corman-Gill's sideboard guide that he tweeted. It's very simple. It looks like this. It's just the 4 basic matchups. Like, I'm starting here and then working my way out. Like, I'm trusting the expert rather than reinventing the wheel here. But he's smart, so everything he says makes a lot of sense. So we're not going to have time to activate Library. We're not going to have time to activate Necro. And they don't have any artifacts. They have Hollow One, I guess. And sometimes Dredge has Null Rod, but like that's pretty suspicious technology. But Chain of Vapor can bounce something I'm worried about. Like Leyline of the Void is like surprisingly annoying to play through. I bounce a Leyline, or if they have some like Deafening Silence or something. Then Defense Grid, because they do have maximum forces. Like they have Force of Will. They showed me Mindbreak Trap game 1 when it got exiled. And then Blightsteel Colossus is a way to just cheese out a win. Like if you can Blightsteel then Time Walk, you can steal a win from tough positions. We don't have any hate of our own, so we just got to go fast. All right, so we're on the draw. Our opponent kept 7, and our hand doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't have a black source in it. It casts Time Walk and then hopes to draw a black source, which is not good enough for me. Not against Dredge that kept 7. All right, we got a D-Tutor. We can grid up. I'm going to keep this one. I'm going to ship one of these lands. Because hopefully turn 1, I'm just going to like jam grid. And then turn 2, win the game somehow. All right, there's that Bazaar. When Dredge keeps 7, it's just the worst feeling. All right, they have a Therapy in the bin. Ooh, Probe. They can start dredging right away. If they hit Narcomoeba, they could strip my DT, and then we're just in all sorts of trouble. All right, that didn't happen. They hit a second Therapy, though, so we do have to try to change our hand pretty quick here. All right, so now I don't think my plan changes. Like, they know about the DT, which sucks. So if they hit anything, like there's no Icarid in here, and they haven't hit an Narcomoeba yet. But they probably will. And let's be real about mathematics. But I'm gonna grid up. and hope to do my thing next turn. Breaking serve game 1 is nice because when we're on the play, it's a totally different world. Oh, look at this. Chalice of the Void. That's a card that they have. Good to know. Elishnorn. They did bring in their ley lines. That's not a surprise. All right, none of those cards were Narcomoeba. Oh, Jesus. That was a strong 7, opponent. You've done well. All right, there's an Narcomoeba. There's one bridge, so they can therapy twice. Oh, there's another bridge. All right, yeah, we're probably just dead. Yeah, that second Bazaar, to the surprise of no one, was pretty clutch. All right. They're going to take the DT and the Preordain. They could take the Ritual, too, I think. 1, 2. Yeah, they could just put me to Hellbent. And then I draw Ancestral Recall and win the game somehow. Or Tinker off the top also just wins the game. So somehow, despite all this nonsense, we still have outs. Let's see if they want the Ritual too. Do they care? All right, they don't care about the Ritual. Tinker. Shit. All right, so are we dead? Probably. Let's see more of their deck, though. Oh, there's 3 Icarids in there, and we already saw Kolagon. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. All right, the best sideboard plan is to be on the play, which we now are. Yep, nothing changes here. I don't think bringing in Pyroblast for the counterspells they might have is a good plan. Like, we already have Duress and Grid, which don't require us to dig up red mana to do. So, time to just go bigger, faster than they do. Alright, so this hand sucks. Against the blue deck, I would keep this, but against Dredge, like, nah. Oh god, I have both my Tinker payoffs, but I also have Brainstorm. Oh wait, London Mulligan, son. I get to put one of these back in the deck. Alright, they're on 6. I'm going to keep this. And I think between the two of these, I would rather have Blightsteel Colossus still in the deck. Because, like, I'm a ritual away from casting Citadel on turn 2. Right, they're on 5. Good, good. Finally punished for being Dredge a little bit. Elishnorn's gone. They're on 4. Go to 3. Go to 3. And then 2, then 1, then concede. All right, Powder. All right, their mental misstep's gone. Good to know. Don't have to worry about that one. I was worried about that one with this Soul Ring Brainstorm hand. Genuinely worried about the one I've misstep. They'll probably just keep, like, Bazaar, Mindbreak Trap, and easily win the game. All right, so they're happy with their 3, or at least they've kept it. I can't tell you if they're happy or not. Like, I don't know their life. I'm going to get Underground Sea and play Soul Ring. Oh, this Twister. If only I could cast it. Yeah, I'm going to develop my mana this turn, because they have to spend a turn activating Bazaar just to get anything going. Unless they've kept, like, a forced blue card hand. No, obviously, like, you just go to Bazaar. It's wrong not to. 100% wrong. So if they discard 3, then, like, Unmasked Black card is a thing, or Forced Blue card is a thing. There's the Tinker. So I'm going to Brainstorm, see what happens, and then I can put back the Citadel and then Tinker it. Okay, so I want to put Citadel back in the deck. And I probably want to put Cabal Ritual back in the deck with it. I'm just thinking of cards that I want to hit with Citadel. Yeah, I'll put Ritual in. Like, I want to keep all these lands in my hand so I don't hit them with Citadel. Okay. I'm also not going to play Mana Vault because I'm playing around Mindbreak Trap. All right, let's go. All right, so top. I'm putting the Delta on top so I draw it. That's another land gone. So this puts me to 13 life. I love that it comes with a built-in shuffle. That's so nice. So I could get Black Lotus here, and that gives me Time Twister as an emergency escape button if the rest of this doesn't work out. I think I like that. Like, Will doesn't do anything from this spot. Oh, there's Tendrils. So 4, 5, 6. I could mini Tendrils now, but that loses to Mindbreak Trap. I'll cast this Mana Vault. 6. So I could Tendrils them. I guess, are there 10 non-land permanents in this deck? Is there a line where I can mini Tendrils and then... All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, 14. There are 10 non-land permanents in this deck. All right, I just have to really hope that they don't have... All right, there's the Will. So if they don't have Mindbreak Trap, they lose. All right, my spells are resolving, so we got this. All right, so sack this for black. Cast Will, hold priority in case I hit Dark Ritual, which I did. Bang, bang. Tendrils you out. My opponent said they enjoy my Oath video from last week. I told them they're now in my Storm video. What's up, YouTube? Good games, opponent. All right, here's round 3. We're on the draw. We basically already have 6 cards in hand with the double defense grid, and this hand doesn't do anything besides, so I'm going to ship this. Oh, dear. Oh. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 4, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a turn 1 win if they have nothing. So Storm would be 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the Yogg-Will is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, the second Lotus could sack for blue and cast Chain on something. I guess Chain would need a target, though. Would I have enough mana to Necro besides? So... Sorry, opponent, we're in the tank already. So Lotus, black, 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 storm 1. Rit, black, 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 storm 2. Cabal Rit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Storm 3. Then Petition, down to 4 black, storm is 4. Will, 1 black, storm is 5. Then Lotus is black, 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 storm is 6. Rit, storm is 7. C Rit, we have 7 black, storm is 8. And we go down to 2 black, and we don't have Spellmaster anymore. Okay, yeah. This line is dead. But I could turn 1 Necro anyway and try to win on the following turn. That also just assumes that they have no counterspell and they're not a prison deck. Like, this line basically only works against Dredge. I'm going to mulligan for a safer hand. Oh no, this is the same hand but worse. Oh, my opponent's also on 5. Maybe I should have just put them on Dredge based on that. They kept 5. I'm going to mulligan. They didn't pitch anything to Serum Visions. Jesus, this is just getting worse. Alright, I'm snap keeping this 3. Keep. Alright, what are the 3? It's got to be probably Land Ritual DT. But what does that do? That gets me... Or it could be Land Mox DT. That DT is for Ancestral, and then I can Ancestral next turn. Yeah, I think that is the play. Yuck. This deck isn't usually susceptible to mulligans like that, but, you know, whatever. It's Magic. Alright, they're a blue deck. That's good. A blue deck on 5 is way less scary than a Dredge deck on 5. They bottomed. Oh, great. Lotus. They didn't Narset me, though, so I'll take that. Didn't Narset me yet. So I could preordain first. Because if, like, I DT for Ancestral and then pass the turn, and my hand is Ancestral Preordain and they cast Narset, I just lose. Maybe I'll lead on this Preordain and see what happens. Maybe they'll just like Spell Pierce this Mox. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, if they misstep this, then that clears the way for the Ancestral a turn out. 1 turn out if I draw Mana Source, 2 turns out if I don't. Alright, Mystical is kind of interesting, because I can Mystical for the Ancestral. And it's card disadvantage when I'm already on a mulligan to 3. This also gets misstepped and red blasted, but so does the Ancestral. Maybe I just need to be finding a mana source so I can DT for Tinker and try to just power through. Alright, these land goes. Alright, so if this resolves, I'm going to get Ancestral from this spot. Reason being, Tinker gets red blasted, but so does Ancestral, so that's basically the same thing. I'm going to pass, and if they crack that fetch land, I'm going to shoot off the Ancestral. The reason being I don't want them to be able to hardcast Force of Will. I want it to be a 2-for-1, if that's their answer. Alright, now I'm going to just upkeep this. Because if they want to tap out on their turn to hardcast Forest, then that's fine. Oh, they just had misstep. Sure. You got me. Tinker? Tinker? Dark Petition is a powerful card. What does it do? Nothing, because I can't cast it. One short. All right. So Mana Source gives us Dark Petition. Dark Petition gets Necro and casts it right away. That's pretty good. Gorgeous. All right, so we're going to have to beat this thing. You know what Storm decks are? It's like kind of polarizing how both like good and bad Mana Gorger Hydra is against us. Because when we're going off, it doesn't do anything. When we're not going off, it's bananas. But we know what this deck is now. This is probably Rug PO. That's a Justin Gennari special. Let's see if this Deep E resolves, and then we can figure out what we want to do with it. Necro is dangerous because this is a serious threat, and my life total matters a lot. Maybe I just get Tinker and hope they don't have Red Blast. Hold on. Time to bust out the social media. Find Justin's Twitter. Alright, so this is Justin. I am actually level 1 Gennari. He's a bomb-ass vintage streamer. If you don't watch him, you should. There we go. 5-0'd with this deck. 1 Pyroblast in the main. 1 Mana Gorger. The rest of the cards we've seen are consistent with this list. Let's see, playing around 1 Pyroblast. It's either Necro or Tinker, basically. Like that's what it comes down to. If I Necro, this thing's going to be a 4/4. So then I pay, what, 6? I go to 12. And I pay 7. If I pay 8, I go to 10. And then they'd have to do a lot of work to get this thing up to a 10/10. Yeah, I'm just going to get the Necro. I don't think they have a counterspell at this point, or Dark Petition would have been the target. Alright, so I'm going to put myself to 10 and hope they can't cast 6 spells. I'm going to discard the Delta because I have a mana source here, and this one doesn't hurt me. Oh, I have to put this on the stack. There's only one. All right, so I have another Petition. That's good. And I can duress to check to make sure the coast is clear. Just got to hope that I don't get PO'd right now. Oh, Jesus. Well, they might cast 6 spells this turn now. Ancestral Recall. Never not. Alright, Narset is mostly fine. Just don't kill me, please. That's what I'm really worried about. Probe. Alright, that's... Just need 3 more spells, and they have Black Lotus to make it happen. Oh, or just Lightning Bolt. Wow, that was frustrating. Ancestral Recall for the win. Ugh. Whatever. I believe that bolt is a 1-of also. Yep. That's a 1-of. That's a 1-of. That's a 1-of. Okay, so after board, they're going to have Flusterstorm, some more Pyroblast. Tormod's Crypt might be a card they bring in. Alright, so I'm going to bring in my Pyroblasts. Like, for this matchup, I just have to go off first. And I'm going to use the Pyroblasts as defense, because they also mess with the Planeswalkers. They kind of do double duty with the grid. Like, grid doesn't stop Narset from arriving. Pyroblast does. Twister is dangerous against the Narset deck. Hercules doesn't do much against this deck. And Library is going to be too slow. We're both going for speed. And I'm bringing in 2 other lands, so I'm not down a mana source. I'm actually up 1. And then Preordain, also a bit of a clunker against the combo mirror where they have Narset. Oh, this hand. I would keep this with a single artifact in it. I think we can do better, though. This hand's probably better. No, this hand doesn't do anything either. This hand does not die instantly. Like, there is a Pyroblast here. I'm going to have to bottom one. I would probably bottom Cabal Ritual. So this hand taps for 2 blue and then 3 black. It's just not a good hand. I'm keeping this one, though. Not excited about it. I don't need 2 Dark Petitions, and I think that Cabal Ritual is the worst card here. Like, I do kind of want access to this Pyroblast. So it's kind of tough because I have all 3 colors of spells here in my hand. But I think I'm going to get Volcanic Island to start this off, and then find a black source off Preordain. Because if I miss, then I'm going to want Pyroblast up. Yeah. Alright, yeah. Our opponent continues to be good at drawing 1-ups. Alright, cool. Desperately need a black source. The good news is we have Pyroblast, though, and they've already used their misstep, so we can counter something. Not that. Top is an absolute nightmare, though, because they can float a counterspell on top and they're immune to duress. I'm going to check this hand. Yeah, PO is a tough matchup. Force of Will, Snapcaster Mage, Dig Through Time. And PO. PO is not even close to being relevant. I think I'm going to strip the Force so my Pyroblast is good. And if I draw another Ritual, I can Writ, Dark Petition for Will. Try to go off next turn. I don't even know if that does anything, but yeah, these mulligans to 3 and 5 have been pretty disgusting. Probably like, I was going to say Black Lotus is my best draw, but obviously. All right, I hope they don't snap Ancestral in my end step here. Okay, good, they didn't. All right, let's have a look. We know 3 of these cards already. Oh, good. Oh, wait, they had top. It wasn't just drawing wild there. So now we are almost certainly dead because my plan of Pyroblast the Snapcaster to buy a bunch of time. They can just force that, and then they have a Snapcaster. If they find a 3rd artifact, they just get to start going nuts. Like any Mox pretty much kills us from this spot. Alright, what does that do? 1, 2, 3, 4, nothing. I wish that was a red source. I'd like to draw my own Ancestral Recall anytime now. That hurts me more than it helps me right now, I think. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe they have to force this. Yeah. Best case scenario, they force this and it's just him to Turok. Worst case scenario, it resolves and I lose immediately. Okay. Force pitching PO. Deal. Alright, we got the him to Turok. Yeah, they don't actually have to cast spells, though. They just keep spinning their top. They'll win this game eventually. Alright, so the Force and the Snap are gone. They have Dig and 3 unknowns, all of which were put there from Sensei's top. Let's hope they get a case of end of turnitis and don't just snap off this Dig main phase. Uh-oh. I did not bring in my Fatal Pushes because I didn't really respect this card. Like, in a normal Storm game, Gorger is pretty irrelevant. Ugh, this is not a normal Storm game, though. Okay, so I can Ritual Necro. That makes this thing a 5/5. They have Dig plus Pyroblast. Top flipping is a guaranteed extra spell. Oh, we're so dead. Alright, I'm going to go for a super conservative Necro and hope it wins the game. We might just die to Gorger regardless here. Okay, so... Alright, we're spinning top. Sure. I guess they do know about this Pyroblast, so any decision they make regarding it is informed. Alright, so this is a 5/5. We know about Dig Through Time, so that'll make it a 6. I Pyroblast, that makes it a 7. They can flip top, that makes it an 8. I think I can draw 5 cards. Alright, that's my conservative. They would have to do something really messed up to get ahead of that. Like, PO would do it, obviously. PO just wins the game. Let's see what we got. Oh, Chain of Vapor still on my deck. That could bounce this Hydra. Not like this. Alright, there's the chain. Maybe I can trick them into going deep on Hydra. And then bounce it. Alright. Yeah, I'm gonna pass here. Ugh. That was not a good Necro, I gotta tell you. Alright, they lost the flip. We have a win condition. Okay, that card does not kill me. All right, so I could take 6 here and try to have this fight in the end step. Maybe they'll cast a spell now, try to push more damage. Draw a card with top. Why are they doing that now? God, my hand is so bad. Oh, Pyroblast. Yep. That card in your deck for some reason. Alright, now we're dead. Just deterministically dead, because I don't get a draw step. Oh, and they had the one of Lightning Bolt still in the deck also. Alright. Yeah, we caught the back end of variance on that one, but I'll rewatch this video later and figure out if there's something better I could have done. Maybe I should have been more adventurous on some of those early hands, like that Black Lotus hand I shipped. Though, on the draw in Vintage, you gotta imagine your opponent can interact with you somehow. Like, if it's not Force of Will, it's Sphere of Resistance. Or like Thalia. Like, I don't know. Our opponent drew a lot of restricted cards and we didn't when we mulliganed to Oblivion. And at least one of those games was still close. Blah. Okay, so we're on the draw here. This hand can turn 1 Tinker. So I'm going to keep it. It's got something powerful to do. And if they do something that indicates I want to slow down into a more fair game, then I can just preordain instead. Duress. That was not Duress. Okay, so I could even preordain, see what's going on, and then preordain again. Yeah, I'm going to settle in here, try to find a Duress. God. My opponents don't know that the card's restricted now. Somebody tell them. You have another one? Because that's cheating. They do have another one. They have Snapcaster Mage. Alright, well, at least we... Oh, it's Mystical Tutor. What does that do? For Ancestral, okay. Okay, we found the Duress. So I can bottom Dark Petition, draw Duress, and then next turn I can Duress, Ritual Tinker. Assuming we get another turn, but this deck has Mental Misstep in it, and I don't think they're a combo deck. Yeah, there's that. It could be a PO deck. They do sometimes do that. Uh-oh, they know what's happening now. Now, what this does is that now they know if they can destroy Mox Sapphire, they should. Like if they have Ancient Grudge or Abrade in their main deck, they should take me off my artifact or else they're going to die. So the urgency is real. Hopefully what it did was just reveal to them that they're dead. And there is no backup plan, and the game is over. So I could Ritual first, which leaves my land drop around. But that's gotta be bad. Like, hanging my Ritual out there to just get countered when I could have Duress to make sure the coast is clear seems bad. Like, I do generally err on the side of caution, which a lot of Vintage players don't. A lot of Vintage players like to jam, and I don't blame them for that, but I like when my spells resolve. I did fetch instead of play Swamp, though, so there's one less land in my deck when we start Citadeling. Ancient Grudge in this hand would be kind of a disaster, because even if I take it, they can flashback on Citadel. Alright, so I have to take the Spell Pierce, and then they have a chance to Brainstorm into a counter. Well, let's hope they miss. Off we go. Don't do me like this, opponent. All right. No, Dak, I've been betrayed. Ugh. Yeah, that's like one thing that is just an unfortunate fact. Like, you do need to put lands in your deck. And sometimes your Citadel gets wrecked. So here comes Jace. Jace is an embarrassing card compared to Bolas's Citadel. But if it finds like an Ancient Grudge, Nature's Claim, a Braid, like we know Mox Ruby is in their hand right now, or at least at this point it is. So they do have both red and green mana available if they main deck cards like that. No, don't tap green. Please cast Mana Gorge or Hydra. No! Ugh. When it's just not your day. Yeah, whatever. Go nuts. Kill yourself. I could draw Chain of Vapor and just get my Citadel back, I guess. Go fucking crazy, opponent. Yeah, so for that to happen, like they went from 3 mana sources in play, or 3 mana, to casting Jace, Brainstorm, cast Dak Faden. Like they found Mana Crypt and Dak. That's disgusting. And we had to hit that land. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lands. There's only 8 lands in the deck out of 48 cards. So we, once again, getting vintaged, catching the wrong side of variance. All right, we knew the top card was Polluted Delta. All right, yeah, I'm just dead. That was bullshit. Whatever, opponent. All right, so this is our fair blue matchup plan where we want these lands. We want empty. We want these Pyroblasts. Do not want Blightsteel. We're cutting all of these Tinkers and big artifacts because, as we just learned, they play Dak Faden. Herx is not really a card we want. Do want the Fatal Push in case they have creatures. The Vamp Tutor, the Mystical Tutor go, and the Petal and the LED. That's too many. What have I done wrong? Oh, defense grid is supposed to be in the deck. And then we cut preordain. Okay, here's the plan. Let's just try to shove through before they get set up. All right, so this one's got a lot of potential. I can brainstorm and fetch off Mox Sapphire for the full value brainstorm on turn 1. Then I can preordain after that. So, a lot of potential here. My opponent will have missed up 100% of the time, though, based on the way this league has gone. Ooh, Force of Will. Okay, that's a deal. That was a really aggressive Force of Will. Wow. If only that Brainstorm resolved, we would have had turn 1 Necro. So, do I need the Jet if I'm going to Necro? I think I do. Yeah, I'll just hold on to that over here. Yeah, because Jet is a card I can get out of my hand. Like, I can go basically Hellbent, then Necro for a bunch, and I won't have to worry about the cleanup step too much. Are we getting, like, turn 1 Tinkered here? It's black mana. Demonic Tutor. If one colorless floating. They could get Lotus and cast Jace. Yep. Alright, well, our opponent has successfully gone more broken than us with their fair blue deck against our combo deck. They also didn't Fate Seal there when I top the Preordain, so that might have been a little loose. I'm just going to cast the Necro off Jet, Land, though. I'm going to save this Ritual. Alright, that's messed up. I don't think I'm going to need the Ritual. Like, there's no one card that can just counter Necro here. I don't think. I've only cast 2 spells, yeah. I can pay a lot of life. Because this deck doesn't actually pressure your mana, or your life total. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'll give me 11 cards to choose from. And I have 1 blue to take actions in my end step if that comes up. There's a lot of duresses. I like that. Empty, nice. And tendrils? Okay. And grid. Alright, so nothing happened. Nothing I can cast arrived in the end step. So I gotta discard 4 of these cards. I think Duress and Petition are 2 easy ones. So I need Empty. I need Lotus. I probably want Tendrils. So Lotus, Empty, Pyroblast, Ritual, Duress, Land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I got 1, 2. Dark Petition's not really necessary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because they have Nile Spellbomb, they can take me off Spell Mastery, which messes up the potency of Dark Petition by a lot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 1 more of these. probably just want tendrils. What happens if I grid, I guess, is the question. So if I cast grid, that's 2. Is grid the same as duress? Like, they have 4 mana available, so maybe grid just isn't even good because they can still force through it. I got Pyroblast can kill Jace. Like, if I can kill Jace... Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana available. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could just tendrils them on the way out to soften them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that does work. I duress them, I blast Jace, I empty, and then I hit them for a bunch with tendrils, or vice versa. I drain them for a bunch. Okay. I am settled on this outcome. I'm glad this is Magic Online. I would have just been sent out of the tournament for slow play in real life. This Mana Crypt is also relevant. They lost the flip, so that takes a storm off of tendrils to be lethal. And it's 1 less turn of attacking with empty. Just gotta hope they don't have like a lock piece of some kind. Like, this doesn't look like a deck that would cast Null Rod. I fucking hope it's not. I can't really beat it. I guess that's not true. I can still duress them, make 6 goblins, even if they do Null Rod me here. Narset. Okay, I don't care about Narset. This hand wins without drawing cards. They haven't activated Jace yet, so they can put 1 card in their hand and then brainstorm with 1 extra card. That's not what I want. I want their revealed cards. Alright, Dak. They can't cast Dak right now. Not yet, anyway. Okay. Let's do this. So, duress. I'll take the force. Or I could take the Dak. Because after this turn, I'm not going to cast any more cards. Like, I could... Yeah, Dak is probably a better card to take. They can't hardcast Force. They can't draw a card. They don't have black mana. Yeah, I'm going to take the Dak. Leave them with Force of Will. Because I plan on winning right now. I need another red source here. I guess Lotus could have been my red source, but getting Volcanic Island's also fine. Not sure if it matters what order I do this. I just need to make sure I leave up red. All right, Ritual. Pyroblast, Jace. Leave me with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay, that is right. Get rid of you. Then I think... I'm not sure if this matters what order I do this in. Like, it's a difference of 2 extra goblin tokens versus they lose 2 more life. I think I cast empty first, because 1 attack will be lethal, and they're not going to answer them 1 for 1. Like, they either have a sweeper for them or they don't. So, and I can refill my hand with Necro if I gain more life. So I can make 10 goblins, then drain them for a lot. All right, yeah, that's fine. If they don't have an out to this, they may also just concede, but we'll see. Tendrils, if I also by doing it in this order, Tendrils puts them dead to Mana Crypt. If they lose their flip, they just lose. They'll be at 2 after Tendrils resolves. Just gonna make super sure that Necro doesn't draw cards before I start activating it. All right, yeah, they just scooped it up. Nice. Dead Zoes. Threw a Jason and Narset. Right, I don't think my plan changes after board here. Still looks good to me. All right, we're on the draw and my hand's pretty bad. Like, I'm basically already on 6 because Tendrils is in my hand, and I could turn one Yogg-Will pass, which is not a real play. I'm gonna ship this. All right, I'm gonna keep this. This has a lot more potential. I think I'm gonna bottom the. It's either Chain or Petition. I'm gonna ship Petition because if I have to bounce Narset, like this hand doesn't beat Narset ever, so I gotta respect that. God, they're playing against another turn 1 Jace. All right, so Mox, Ruby, or Sapphire are my best draws here because those let me protect my spells with Pyroblast. I think I just pass. Like, I don't want to run this Ancestral Recall into, like, literally every spell. Alright, I don't care about that yet. So I could end step this Ancestral. Or I could hope to draw a mana source and protect it with Pyroblast. I could also spend this turn cantripping. Like, I can Ponder first, looking for a second land, and I can just play this nice and slow. I'm going to get C because I'm hoping to find red source off of this. Fuck. All right, well, our opponent once again has Black Lotus and Ancestral Recall in their opening hand, so whatever. That is one thing about playing Storm. Like, you're playing mostly shields down. This hand, this spread is actually, might be okay. Like, if I put, no, this is bad. This doesn't do anything. Way too slow. All right, make my land drop go. So Academy gives us a lot of upside, at least. Like, there is that. We have the Soul Ring. If we draw a Mox, we can start going to town. Demonic Tutor. Yeah. Let's see if they value Jace or Narset more. God, I hope it's Jace. Alright, Time Walk. Okay. Is that even good? I don't know. Maybe they're a secret PO deck and they just haven't shown us that yet and they're just going to win right now. Oh. Vamp Tutor in their deck too. It's a good chance. Maybe this is some sort of... No, they have Jace and Narset? What kind of combo deck could they be? I don't know. They could just, like, tinker me out here somehow. Yeah, if they, like... Or they could just have Vaulting Key in their hand. Like it's 2015. Alright, they're just spell bombing me? That's weird. Oh, they must have Yogg-Will. That's like the only reason to do that. You get to draw a card and then just replay everything. Just like a big value will. They could also tinker Time Walk off the will. Yeah, okay. Okay. Let's see what they're up to at least. We're certainly dead. At the very least, they're gonna draw 3 more cards, tutor, and take another turn. At the most, we just lose somehow. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, they could even DT for Tinker right now. They have plenty of mana to do all that. Yep. I'm pretty sure this matchup is good. Our opponent just had Black Lotus and Ancestral Recall in all the games, and we didn't. This was closer than it looks. Also, just like, if this was a different land, or if I had a 0 mana card, I could Chain of Vapor this Colossus and maybe play a little longer, but doesn't matter. We got vintaged, which is part of the format. It is the name of the format. Sometimes you just don't get to make any decisions and then you lose, or any meaningful ones. Like, it was like, which of my 1 mana spells do I want to get countered and then lose? All right, we're on the draw again. We have a Duress and some fast mana and a Time Walk. Like, I'm going to keep this. We have a lot of big hits in the deck, and this clears the way for them and ramps into them. We could just, like, draw a bunch of crap and lose. Our opponent could Ancestral Recall us, you know, like every other game that I've ever played in my life. I'm going to Time Walk first. Try to get out ahead of this a little bit. And if they want to, like, force a Time Walk on turn 2, that's a good deal for me. Like I said, or we could just continue drawing lands for the rest of time. Dack Fade and Engineered Explosives, Mox Pearl, Time Walk. So Pearl does cast Dack. I'm going to take Dack. Oh, they have Trinket Mage hiding over here in the shaded in section too. Yeah, I mean, we're almost certainly losing this game, but what can I do about it? I think Dack gives them the most play. Like, them just having Force of Will is really obnoxious because my hand doesn't really beat it. But my hand definitely doesn't beat Dack Sculpting Forever either. Alright, let's see if they have a main deck hate piece for Storm and if they correctly identified the matchup. Nope, they're just ramping. That's also a reasonable thing to do. Ancestral Recall. Alright. Yeah, so they can hard cast Force now. Or they can just take a walk. I kind of hope they tinker up a Blightsteel, because I'm ready. Except that they have Force. I'm not ready for that. it tinker time? Oh, explosives for 0 time. Wheel. I think this is kind of a freebie. Put all your Moxen in the graveyard. My opponent said nice. Maybe, not sure. I hope so. I really needed a draw 7 here, so I'll take this. Another force is gone. Ooh, I drew Ancestral Recall. That's not how Magic works. Alright, so Badlands is the last fetchable land in my deck. Oh no, I have Basic Island also. I'm going to fetch now, though. Oh wait, no, the Basic Island is in my graveyard. Yeah, I'm going to fetch now before I accidentally draw my last land. Alright, looks like they're kind of F6'd over there. Oh wait, that was their Time Walk turn. I'm so dumb. God. Alright. At least I did it while they're tapped out. Yeah, not gonna lie, forgot about Time Walk. Alright, they know I can't do anything, so I'm just gonna have 6 here. But I think we get to go completely crazy if we get a turn. It doesn't look like we're going to. Is this just Yogwill? Oh, it's Tinker for Black Lotus, and then Yogwill, sure. My efforts with the Hercules recall were for naught. So they can re-tinker, Time Walk again. They probed me, so they know exactly what deck I'm playing now. There's no more secrets. Once again, we're getting... Our fair blue deck opponent is going more broken than our Storm deck. Okay, they're also a Tendrils deck. Some sort of Grixis Trinket Mage Tendrils deck. Alright, I'm less grouchy about that. At least we're mutually Tendrilsing each other. Alright, what do I do for the Perfect Storm, Artifact, Trinket Mage, Storm Mirror with Force of Will? So I probably want Pyroblast for sure. Library is probably not going to come up, so that's out. I saw Engineer Explosives and the ability to search for it, so that's kind of scary. We saw Dak Faden, so you're out of here. You're out of here. Saw Force of Will, so you're out of here. This did not seem super helpful. The card negative tutors, the Mystical and the Vamp, are kind of interesting because in the combo mirror, you do want those. You just want the most powerful cards fastest, but against control decks, you don't want things like that. I think I do want them in this matchup, though. Probably. Definitely want all my Pyroblasts. Like, this seems like a deck that might also have Narset. It's just like an everything deck, just like a big old pile of cards. I might want my second Chain of Vapor too. Like, if they have weird hate cards, they can search up. Maybe I do want empty, just make them have the explosives. Put them to the test, as they say. Alright, so Lotus Petal can probably take a break. An LED. Like, so that gets rid of my most fragile mana, but I get to keep my most potent tutoring. Oh, I think that's a defensible line. Alright, I'm going to do that. I'm not going to make room for the second chain. Let's go. Look at me. I am the Ancestral Recall now. Alright, don't have misstep. The good news is our hand's pretty powerful even without an Ancestral Recall resolving. Like this tutor line probably does something cool. Or Ancestral Recall can just resolve. So, black, 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 black. Dark Petition for Will. Alright, notepad. Alright, so Lotus, black, 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 Storm is 2, Writ, 5 black, Storm is 3, then Petition, 3 black, Storm is 4, Will, Storm is 5, then Lotus, black, 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 Storm is 6, Writ, black, 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 Storm is 7. I can DT, Storm is 8. So I can turn 1 here. This dies. Yeah, DT gets Writ. That goes back up to 5. So I can turn 1 this. They didn't counter Ancestral Recall. But that might have just mean they didn't want to Force of Will it. Alright, I'm going to go for it. Alright, that looked like an F6 to me. So if I DT for Writ first, I think that adds extra Storm the whole way up my chain. Yeah, that adds extra Storm. All right, yeah, we got ourselves the turn 1. All right, finally, the Vintage Gods gave me a look. It's been a while. All right, so the only other thing I could do is bring in Defense Grid, like number 3. And they have shown me Force of Will, but I think Duress is just better. Like, they're not a super counterspell heavy deck. There's no way they can have, like, a full suite of, like, Spell Pierces and junk if they're also just a Tendrils deck. And on the draw now, it gets even worse. Like, yeah, I'm going to leave it how it is. And we're on the draw, and we have multiple Duresses and cantrips. I'm going to keep this and kind of try to play a control deck role. Like, control them for a turn or 2, then win suddenly. That's my plan. Alright, Brainstorm is not Ancestral Recall, so I'll take that. Turn 1 Brainstorm's kind of scary, though. Like, maybe that's just my Legacy sensibilities, and turn 1 Brainstorm makes a lot of sense in Vintage because you have so much fast mana. But in Legacy, like, if your opponent goes turn 1 Brainstorm, you might just die. Oh, the old Mana Crypt Go strategy. I think my opponent enjoys taking 3. Since I have 2 duresses, I can just snap one off here hyper aggressively. Try to collapse their hand. Alright, they had the misstep. Okay. It's fine. Yeah, Mana Crypt Go is definitely pretty weird. Unless they were trying to protect it from a discard spell, and they really need the mana. But still, just... That's a big risk when casting colorless color... Having only colorless available on your opponent's turn usually doesn't do anything. I guess if I had Mox, Spell Pierce, they could have paid for their misstep. But don't think that's really a thing. There's a good chance they're also just Brainstorm locked. Like if they don't have a shuffle here. They could also jam Jace or some garbage. Narset. Okay, that's a pretty good one. Especially against my hand of Brainstorm Preordain. Nihil Spellbomb. Troublesome. Alright, we need a Pyroblast. Brought in 4 of them. Jet, what do? You give me extra mana off Academy. So Jet. I don't think I duress yet here. I think I cast Grid. And then I cast Preordain, which is not going to draw a card, but it does scry too. These cards are not helpful. Alright, and ship the turn. So that mostly blanks any counter spells they might have. If they start losing flips, we could just bleed them out. They do only have 3 cards in hand. It's going to be 5 in a second, but I guess that's a lot of cards. Never mind. Oh, Vamp Tutor. Never mind. They have infinite cards in their hand. It's just the aggro tinker, probably. Are you a Bolas' Citadel deck? You are. I think we're dead, team. Because they still have Narset to clear, even if they get stuck once. They'd have to get stuck twice to stop. Force of Will. That's not a helpful card. Now it is, I guess. Trinket Mage. That gets top, and then you can just shred through your deck 1 life at a time. They are at 10, though, so they're going to have to find a Tendril somewhere. This is pretty bad news. Take my defense grid. Oh, Notion Thief. Oh, yeah. We're so dead. Target player. Oh, right. They have Notion Thief. They just draw 2. Just gotta hope they whiff on this Citadel somehow. They still have top to dig forever. Maybe I did want that Tendrils I just bottomed. Like, I could have gone... No, I don't have double black. Oh, Tendrils. I wish you were not on the bottom of my deck. I would actually win this game if Tendrils was in my hand. Unless they Tendrils me out right here. But, okay. Yeah, so we just got vintage 3 games in a row after vintaging our first 2 opponents. That's pretty standard vintage. If you sign up for a vintage tournament expecting to win with your superior play, prepare to be disappointed. I'm not saying I played better than my opponents. I'm sure they played fine. Just the fact that cards like this one and this one exist, like they might draw them and you don't, and good job. But sometimes you draw them and they don't, so good job for you. We did have a lot of sweet situations come up though that we got to talk through. So even though the league was unsuccessful, there was a lot of learning to be had there. Feel free to dissect my lines. Tell me about them on Twitter. If I miss something, I want to hear all about it. Make comments. Tell your friends. Get your Storm experts into this video. Have them check it out. On Twitter, I'm Bosh and Roll. BOSH, the letter N, ROLL. Talk to me there. And if you liked the content, as always, hit the sub button. Share it with your friends. Let's talk about Vintage. I also have Legacy and Modern videos. Check them all out. And I'll